So this is a video I never really intended on making, but it's kind of been weighing on my brain the past few days, and it's something that I just kind of wanted to, talk about, get it out there. Today I'm down in the Pattaya Thailand area. I had to come back over here and pick up my bike from yesterday. We allegedly had some fun last night. I'll roll some of those clips right here. But this is one of my favorite beaches to sneak down to. This is called Cozy Beach. If you know where like Three Mermaids and all those nice restaurants are, they're right up here on the cliff. One of my favorite beaches for sunset, and it's just a little more laid back than everywhere else. No jet skis or anything like that are allowed over here, so it's a good spot to swim. Water's pretty clean. I used to come here 2 or 3 months ago, and I would be literally the only person on this beach, and now, as you can see, that is not the case anymore. Since I've been in Thailand, I've seen so much amazing stuff, but I have seen a few things that kind of bum me out, you know what I mean, or kind of put me in a bad mood. And something I saw the other day didn't really necessarily put me in a bad mood. It was just kind of like one of those realization moments that really makes you just appreciate everything that you have, and just makes you want to do everything you can to avoid that situation. So as you may know, if you've watched some of my older videos, or done some research, that the roads here in Thailand can be very dangerous. And that kind of comes with the territory, and it's one of those things that you just know, but you're not necessarily going to see it firsthand a lot of the time. But if you've been on my channel for a while, or you know me personally, you know I've been around motorcycles my entire life, from riding to a little bit of racing, a little bit of everything. And I've always understood that motorcycles are super dangerous, and you need to have a lot of respect for the bike and everything else that's going on around you when you're riding. But that's not to say I haven't seen bad stuff happen, but it's never really been firsthand. So basically, long story short, what happened is a friend and I were headed to the grocery store over by my condo, and as we're pulling up to, I'm pretty sure it's Tempus 4 and Sukhumvit Road, there's a lot of traffic backed up, which is pretty normal for there. But as we get closer to the road, I see some lights and stuff, and I was initially worried that it was police, because if you get stopped by police here, it's usually going to cost you some money. But as we got up closer to the road, we did realize that it was an accident, unfortunately. And at that time we saw 2 guys in the road. I don't want to get too graphic in detail or anything like that, but one of the guys was off to the left of us, and then there was another guy that was still in the middle of the road. And this was before ambulances or anything had gotten there. Luckily, a lot of people had stopped and were kind of directing traffic to make sure they didn't get hit by anybody else that was driving. But as we're making the turn, I look at the guy. You can't help but look sometimes, even though I know that always makes me feel bad, especially when it has to do with motorcycles, just because that always hits so close to home, and I've had friends pass away, you know what I mean? So it's not something that I really enjoy seeing. But as we're going to make our turn, I look over, and the guy that's still in the road, and he's definitely messed up, but still awake, you know what I mean? His eyes are open. And as I'm looking at him, he looks over, and he definitely makes eye contact with me on the bike. So it's one of those situations where I just, took off and went on our way. We went to the store. So we go to the store, we do our thing. We're grocery shopping for maybe half hour, 45 minutes. And as we're leaving, we grab all our stuff. We're getting back on Sukhumvit to head back towards my condo, and we see the ambulances. Unfortunately, it did take them a long time to respond. Sometimes they're very quick here, and other times they're just busy, or the traffic or whatever can make them a little bit slower to respond. So we see the ambulances going back, and when we did pass, it did look like both the guys were moving. Granted, like I said, I didn't really want to look unless I had to. So it was my understanding that the guys were probably going to be okay. I couldn't really tell from the accident how bad it actually was. As we're going back, we make the corner, and we get back up to the intersection again. The ambulances pull up, and I noticed the guy's not in the road anymore, so I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, well, hopefully that means they got him up and they moved him. And as we're making the turn, I look over, and unfortunately there are 3 bodies that are covered up. So I didn't see the third person when we first went through, but I did see the 2 guys, and that was at least them and one other person, and they had all passed away, unfortunately. And like I said, I've been around motorcycles my whole life. I've been seriously injured myself. I've seen my friends get seriously injured. I've had friends pass away, but like I said, I've never been that close to it. And I was just thinking about it, and I just felt so bad for that guy that was in the street, you know what I mean? I couldn't imagine what he was going through, and for some reason it really stuck with me that I looked at him, you know what I mean? And I was probably one of the last people that he ever got to see. So yeah, to be honest, it shook me a little bit, you know? I've never been that close to anything like that, and it definitely makes you have even more respect for the bikes and traffic and being safe here. I always ride generally safe anyway, but I've definitely made an effort to tone it down and be even more aware than I normally am. So it just goes to show that you never know every time you go out, you know, on the bike or even in a car, especially here, like, just be careful, because you never know what could happen, or, you know, God forbid you make a mistake and somebody else gets hurt. So it was definitely an interesting experience. That was definitely something I obviously never want to see again, but I do appreciate kind of the reality check, because if you ride motorcycles yourself, I'm sure you know that we all do it because we love it and it's fun and it's a great way to get around, but every once in a while we might push it a little bit harder than we really should be pushing it. So a reality check is always a good thing, and it was a very humbling experience, which is why I wanted to share it with you guys. You know, you never know what could happen, especially on a motorcycle. A lot of the times, a lot of the people that die on bikes, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what they're doing. It's, you know, somebody pulling out in front of you or pushing you into a curb or something. So just treat it with respect, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Tempus TV. Sorry for the little more somber tone in this video. It's not usually my peppy self, but this is something that I've been thinking about for the past week, you know what I mean? And it's definitely been fresh on my mind. It's the same with my friend. We were talking about it the other night, and she also kind of had the same experience. I just wanted to share this with you guys so maybe you could get a little piece of knowledge from it, you know what I mean, and have, you know, a reminder that just to be careful and head on a swivel at all times. Obviously, if you have some drinks, don't get on the bike, nothing like that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later. If you'd like to see more from Thailand, feel free to drop a subscribe below. I upload daily videos, a little bit of everything, informational stuff, as well as my experiences here. And yeah, have a great day. I love you. Bye.